All right, we have another week of reviewing content and some of the stuff that we learned, I guess, or reflected on in the past week or so. Recorded last week. This was fun last time, but it's good for us to kind of exercise our brain a little bit away from just recording a bunch of videos. But it's always nice. What do you want to start with? You want to start with the content first, or you want to start with the other stuff?
Let's start with the other stuff first.
The other stuff, as they say. All right, so I wrote down a couple of reflections I had the past week, just based on sales calls that we've had for Wrench Out Do Ballet Coaching specifically. So we'll get started with that. So the conversation, the sales conversation that we have is heavily, at least this is from our experience, is heavily affected by the branding. So specifically for that brand, we put out 20 to 40 pieces of content every single week per platform, and that's how a lot of people find out about the brand. Mm-hmm. And so when I'm having these sales conversations, it's mostly me just sitting there asking questions and listening. It's almost like I'm working at McDonald's taking orders. Or maybe not McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, right? It's a little bit higher class. But I wasn't convincing the prospect on anything. The prospect was convincing herself on why they should buy it. And I was just confirming that they were right, and that they were a good fit. And at the end of the day, it's just me giving them additional encouragement and affirmation of why they should purchase this particular product and why it will be good fit for them. And for them, they're just trying to confirm that the details that they have read, most of the time it's already right. It's not like they read anything wrong, but I think part of it is just confirming that there's another human being on the other side of this whole brand that's presented on the screen or on social media. So in one particular case, right after a phone call, 1 minute later, because I'm not doing hard closes on the Zoom call. I could, but I don't think it's necessary. Some people sometimes need time to think. Of course, when you're a hard-ass closer, that's an objection that you want to come over. But anyways, in this sales call, it was done in 1 minute after, or she bought 1 minute right after the Zoom call was done. So she already had written out all her information on the registration form on the website. Wow. So at that point, it's just confirming everything, and then bloop,
I see.
She purchased. So that was because when you're doing that much branding, it's just that much easier for people like us who aren't sales professionals, who don't have that much sales background or training. So it's kind of like a shortcut to sales, if you want to think of it that way. It does take a lot longer. With sales, if you're really good at it, you can finish it in one call, maybe 2 calls. But with branding, it's just an easier conversation to have.
I can talk about my sales call. This call was a little bit different. She was not aware of the brand, and she was referred by the teacher's friend. So it was a little bit different. She was almost encouraged to take the class or to sign up for the intensive, but she was not sure. But what the funny thing was, like, even though her daughter went to a big school for the summer intensive, she was not satisfied. So in that case, for me, I think it was more data collecting rather than really trying to close. Through this, where they're not happy with the other program, we can kind of adjust their copy or adjust our advertisement a little bit.
I see. Yeah.
That's where I was at. She got all the information she needs. She said she'll sign up, but she hasn't signed up yet.
Speaking of which, I think having all these calls actually helped us realize what's missing when we're presenting information out there. So it helps, adjust the marketing message a little bit, fine-tunes it a lot more, pinpoint it a lot more. So I would encourage, if you don't do any sales conversations, and I'm sure any business out there, that's ultimately you have to do that, but For us, because we've just been dependent so much on branding and just allowing people to sign up themselves, this was new for us. So.
Yeah, definitely. Like when we structure the website and present it, and if they don't have any information, we know like what to put in. Like
Right.
sometimes their address is missing or
Yeah.
certain information missing. So yeah, I think ideal marketing agency or ideal business in general, like sales, helps the marketing side a lot. I think like the copy, the content, what are their objections, what are their frustrations. So sales calls comes into influences in marketing a lot. I think.
Yeah. Great. So I think that's that. Next topic for me is so Alex Hermosi put out a video talking about how don't make these money mistakes. I think it was 14 money mistakes or whatever. And one of them was don't use credit card, just use cash. And the other one was just eat out, in this case Chipotle, every day. So I actually embraced this. So I stopped using my credit card completely, my personal credit card. And so what I do is I don't use cash to that extent. I carry some around, but I just put everything like a set amount. For me, it's like $300 to $500 just for food for the month. And that's all I get. That's all the allowance I give myself. But for me, it's so much less stress. I don't have to think about tracking. Did I overspend? I know just looking at my checking account. I don't know why. I guess like in the past, like I've been so used to, I want to get all these points from using these credit cards. I want to maximize all this like benefits and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, for the headache I was having and not being able to control my spending more precisely, this helped a lot. But on the other side, like, yeah, you might think like if you're buying food every day, that's a waste of money or that's a lot of expenses. Well, one, I can write it off. I think I can write it off, hopefully. I have to talk to my accountant. But the other side is just like, for me, like sometimes the groceries I shop for, it equates to the amount of food that I would have spent eating out. Almost the same. But then you have to include all the time I have to spend cooking. And it's not even that good of a meal. So I would just rather buy Chipotle. I don't eat Chipotle every day. I eat it every other day. But sometimes I just eat, 2/3 of it, and the other third I eat it for the next meal. So that just covers the whole day. It's like $12. So if you do the math, buying bulk food from like Costco or something, it kind of turns out to be the same. Just less stress. So I thought that was helpful. Maybe it'll be helpful for you. We'll see. But yeah.
Yeah, definitely eating out and doing groceries. I tried both, but turns out the same amount of expenses. So, but you do save time, and it's something that you can try. I mean, of course, there might be some side effects in terms of health, like a lot of sodium and all that.
Chipotle is so healthy.
So, I mean, in that aspect, it might not be good, but if you have a budget that you're working with, it might be helpful. Yeah.
Not financial advice, just sharing what we tried. Some of the objections that we get in sales is it's not even about the product, it's about the prospect themselves. They don't believe that they will be able to do it. In our case, the thing that we're selling, the event that we're selling is pretty intense. It's a lot of physical intensity in it, long hours of dancing and whatnot. So a lot of adults who come across it, they're kind of questioning themselves. So that's most of the time, 9 times out of 10, the conversation I have is, I don't think I'd be a good fit. Do you think I'd be a good fit? And of course I tell them, based on what they tell me, they tell me like they have X amount of experience, this is what they're currently doing. And it's like, most of the time the answer is yes. So it's just interesting because so much of the time we spend, sometimes it's so much trying to sell on the product. Like the product has all these features or details or like, things that we try to utilize to solve their problems. But sometimes it's covered well. It comes down to the prospect. And we had been somewhat aware of this before, even doing all these sales calls. But So what we've tried to address it before is through content specifically. So in this one particular case, we had a lady tell me that the live stream that we did for the actual event from a previous event, most recent time, she said that helped her see herself do the event. Because, you know, when you put out like all the details and information, it's a lot different from just telling and showing, show and tell, you know. Mm-hmm. So, but she still needed that extra push at the end of the day of like, yeah, you can do this too. It's, you know, with your capabilities and what you're working with right now, you can totally do this and it'll be very beneficial to you. So, yeah, sometimes it's not the product, sometimes it's the prospect that needs encouragement.
Mm-hmm. I mean, is that something that on a marketing side that's missing, that they're hesitating, do you think? Or is it just really that human connection that they need to commit? Because, you know, some products that we see from other businesses, there's like 5-figure, 6-figure. There's no sales call. They still do the landing page and transact. Mm-hmm. So, in your opinion, what do you think about that? I guess the intensity plays into a factor because, even if it's expensive, it might not be as intense. It's maybe at your pace or stuff like that. But if you're like going all in with that time commitment, maybe it's a little bit different. But yeah,
I think you need sales for some people. Some people want that personal touch or human element into it. I don't know if I have an answer for that though. Okay, I guess both works. Yeah, but yeah, I think there's ways you can do that with marketing. With a lot more
urgency, maybe.
Yeah, or more focused. Like the messaging is more focused toward that specific objection. I don't think we do that as much with the content that we're producing for that particular event. But yeah, I think both are needed. Okay. I mean, this is kind of talking about the same stuff that we've been talking about. But anyway, so personally, whenever I have website issues for my clients, I don't know website stuff that well. Like I don't know how to do all that HTML, CSS, like all the PHP file, all the backend stuff. So usually, what I do is go to the host provider, which in this case is SiteGround, is the only hosting provider that I use, and I immediately go to chat. I don't read any of their documentation of like how to fix this, and like, you know, for simple problems I can do that. But when it's like pretty urgent, I just go directly talking to someone. And for them, it's great because they always have someone on the other side, like a real human being working with me on the problems, and I feel at ease immediately. So with that experience, you know, we thought let's add that element into the whole all aspects of this program, of this brand that we're doing. As much as I love automation and I try to, you know, I don't like doing tedious tasks over and over and over again, especially if it can be automated pretty easily. As much as we love that, but we can't forget about the human side of it. So what we did was we just simply plugged in a simple Calendly link for people to schedule a call in case. And for the most part, the people who sign up for these calls are like very close to making that decision already. So all the branding did all the legwork, all the content that we put out did all the legwork. So it's just like kind of like this final push at that point. But like the automations that we do use is, you know, like a lot of businesses, we use Zapier to do like simple reminders, confirmations for the registrations, initial texts for leads to start the conversation, follow-up emails, you know, just simple stuff that doesn't really require a whole lot of human touch. But we're trying to also make sure we add the human element on the back end of things. I think we do a lot on the front end with the marketing, with the answering all the DMs, comments, and emails. And this is something we've been trying to work on in the back end, where it's a lot more interactive and more support available for the people who have purchased the products.
Okay, great.
Yeah, because the reason why I thought of this is like, you know, it's very hard to measure brand. It's almost impossible. There's no like really one metric that allows you to measure brand. From our experience, you know, you can count all the likes you want, but like that doesn't really tell you the whole story. So I thought like, well, we're doing all these sales calls, and the quality and the way that these sales calls are be conducted is like one way you can kind of measure if the branding is working. Just like how much awareness people have of what the values that you have and what you stand for, and like how much you set yourself apart compared to the other competitors. So it's a lot less, twisting people's arms to try to convince them to buy something, but ultimately just really helping them decide on what's the best decision for them. And sometimes they sign up without any interaction, right? And I think that's one way to kind of measure how strong a brand is. If you're really, sales driven, but sometimes it takes a while to get to that point too. It's not like I put out content every day for 3 months and you start seeing magical sales. If you go viral a lot, I mean, it can happen, but it really depends on the business and what you're doing. And
Yeah, for us, I think what we are realizing is, of course, we can't do a cookie cutter service for everyone. It doesn't work because all businesses are different.
Yeah.
But I think what we're getting at is if there is a right leader in the business from the client side, and if they have a product that is strong enough, then we have more chance for the organic to work. And I think that's important because a lot of people are saying, yeah, just go viral, go viral, go viral. But you go viral, then what? If you don't have the processes in place, like let's say you have a lot of lead, like attention on the top, from the top of the funnel, through the organic content. If there's no way to grab their emails from the lead page, for example, if there's no specific call to action that you want to lead them to, it's very hard to see the result, right? Like you're getting a lot of followers, but in terms of revenue, it's the same. So I think, as a business owner, like I think what we encourage you is like before you hire someone, try to make sure that the systems that you're working with, like from attention to lead to product, is actually working somewhat okay. So that when you hire someone, it goes on steroids instead of trying to tweak everything while you're spending money on the marketer, for example. So I think that's important to understand. Yeah.
Sometimes it's as simple as just calling them back.
Yeah, follow up, which it's hard, but
one statement that Alex makes is if you want to double your sales, just make sure you follow up with your leads within 5 minutes. I think that's true.
Yeah,
it's the easiest change you can make. You don't have to change anything. Just timing of when you follow up.
And considering your point of view on like branding, did all the legwork at the front. Yeah, sometimes they're not sure at the first call, but at the second call they're like, forget it. Let's just do it. Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, great. Now we go into the segment where we review content. So Josh picked out some stuff.
Yeah. Mainly just following up with what we talked about before. There are some repetitions, but it gives a specific example on the concept that we talked about. So we can start with the first one. So this emphasizes on curiosity hook. So let's look at it together.
Film ad. What does this thing do? So we want to achieve a water-like effect, like when the sun's hitting the water, it's using a mylar sheet, bouncing some reduces into it to shape it up a little. Film ad. What does this thing do? So we want to achieve.
So it's basically showing the end goal or end result and a little bit of instrument that they used. So it creates some curiosity, especially if you're a beginner in filmmaking or a beginner in like just using cameras in general. It gives a curiosity at the front end and then gives you a chance for you to explain what the process is in the back end. So this is a hook. It's a simple hook, but I think it clearly defines what the hook means in terms of whenever we talk about hooks, we don't really show them. So I thought this was important. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, this is great advice.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know that. That's cool. I don't know anything about lighting.
So they use a little aluminum to make this like watery effect.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
No, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's a hook. That's what we mean by the hook. So next one. Let's go to the next one. So here, what we want to talk about is So this song itself is from a famous Netflix show, right? The Wednesday, I think.
Oh, it is.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
Wow.
what they did was this is basically before and after, which is very common in TikTok. But what they did is they used a trending song that's already being used by a lot of people with a lot of different purposes. But for this specific person, he created a curiosity from the front end where when he's like setting up the set with for the perfume, I guess perfume company, and then just shows the process with the lighting and the angle of the camera, laser light, and then little fog spray, I think. And then it also he's conscious of the tempo or the segment of the music too to show the final result effectively. So I think I wanted to show you this how to use the music effectively so that it makes sense and you can get good amount of views for that.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that. Very nice short tutorial.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a tutorial. But yeah, just like how we consume content is insane.
Yeah, it's very short.
You can do so much in like 10 seconds.
Yeah, because it's because it's visual. You don't need a lot of explanation.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just literally show
And
it.
we're here recording it.
This works too. Okay, next one. So this is the same thing, but I wanted to show people this because some people say, "Oh, I don't want to cut off the video." So this shows how they use a horizontal shot.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this was neat because, I guess it's like a tutorial type of deal where how it's showing like you don't use extra equipment to make a stable video. That's like a statement at the front to create curiosity. Later on, like if you really want to show an entire wide shot, you can do 3 layers and then show the video so that it looks neat. And I think this is pretty good for like a reels or TikTok shots.
Yeah, it's not overwhelming, the shots. You can
Yeah.
digest all 3 different shots at the same time, which is always nice. Fantastic.
Yes, and then let's see. Oh yeah, so this one, what I wanted to emphasize is the posting same core content repeatedly until it hits.
If you know you have an amazing photo that can go viral, keep posting it. And no one does this better than Ro Sato, who consistently posts different versions of the same content with different audios, different editing. And while a lot of his videos don't do that well, I think he knew he had a great photo with this one. The more he kept posting and trying out different things, he eventually found a style that went viral, not just once but multiple times. So if you know you have a piece of art that people need to see, keep posting it. Because one day you might go viral like he did. If you know you have an amazing...
So yeah, this it shows sometimes whether it is the structure of the video or it just didn't hit right in terms of algorithm. Sometimes it doesn't hit. But this guy, if you look at it, he tried at least like 9 times.
That's commitment, man. That is commitment. I don't know if I can do that.
That's a lot of work.
He did have a good shot though. I really liked this. I saw it on my feed too. I was like,
Oh,
wow,
really?
that's a really good shot.
Oh, I see.
Because it's very interesting. It's I guess he was using a wide lens.
Yeah, wide lens to
So,
make it weird.
yeah,
a little
yeah.
bit eccentric.
Very interesting. I mean, it was a simple shoot. Was he using natural light, right?
Yeah, natural light, maybe ND filter, and yeah, that's it.
Yeah, very efficient.
But yeah, this shows we mentioned from previous show that you might have to try multiple times to hit. This is a prime example of what will happen if you do that.
It's just like anything in life, right? If it doesn't work the first time, just keep hitting until it does, right? That doesn't mean hit people though. I'm not proposing any type of violence.
So next one would be the Roblox with like auto tune, I don't know how you call it, but it's like an auto voice. So if you listen to it.
Stop using your cold emails to pitch your product. Offer them something valuable for free instead. I get that you have an awesome product that'll change your recipient's life, but it doesn't matter. Your only objective is to get a reply. Hey Steve, I've noticed you don't have a welcome email going out to your newsletter subscribers. Did you know that a great welcome email can increase average open rates by 47%? I've written one for you. Just reply with a sounds good and I'll send it over. No strings attached. Cheers, James.
So if you were to do this just with just one camera, like sitting in front of the one camera, you might not pick up as many interaction in TikTok, for example. But what you did was you use Roblox is pretty common with especially the Reddit comments or Reddit community.
Yeah.
So what they do is they just post the text, but also read it aloud. I think it's an automated voice that they do, and they get a lot of views. I mean, this didn't get too many views, but some of the examples that we got, like especially if it relates to like relationship stuff, gets millions of views. So that's one recommendation. If you have like a boring subject that you can't really make it fun, or if you want to try something new, this is one way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, cold email is not the most fun thing to talk about. No one likes to open their mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this is a great example. I think it goes in line with a lot of things, especially in video content, like what the content was talking about. Like, don't introduce yourself in the video. No one cares who you are until you've given them something. People are inherently selfish. I think everyone knows that, but I think a lot of people forget. Like, it's the most immediate thing a lot of people do. It's like, hey, my name is Isaac, and I am the whatever.
Almost like a defense mechanism.
Right.
Yeah.
I think, just if you think about the other person and all the problem that they're facing, just fix that first. Then they'll consider anything else that you say.
Next one would be maybe a modern way to show your reels in public. So in terms of the term reel before Instagram took over, in a cinema community, it means it's like a resume for you to show to a potential client. So it's a bunch of compilation of different good shots that you took for different previous clients. And like when I was scrolling through videos, I was thinking, oh, this is actually probably a good way for especially the general public to observe, instead of getting an email and with a Vimeo video with a bunch of compilation. I thought like this might be a good way to do it. So let me look at it.
I watched it 4 times now already.
So it's fun, right? It's fun. Has music in it that people are familiar. And it has the hook that people are familiar. The little where is this from? The movie?
Oh, the Stranger Things.
Stranger Things. Okay, yeah. So that it has a hook that people are familiar with, and then it goes through the whole like best work that he did. So I thought that was cool. All right.
Well done. That was great.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this one. So we can watch first. Do you get the context?
No.
Okay. So this happened. I saw a lot of posts about this specific Beyonce performing at Dubai, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So within that concert, the policy was don't record. A lot of people recorded, and then the concept is like you're not supposed to record and
Distribute it. Uh-huh.
But what people do is like they record it and then they
post it.
do a selfie and then oops type of deal. So with this case, they put a twist, right? They actually put an actual film clip from a comedy movie, I think.
Yeah.
And they made it contextual, like watching Beyonce concert illegally. So
Witty. Very witty.
That's witty way to, like, let's say if you have a movie that you want to showcase.
Oh.
Right. That's one way to do it.
You
right.
know, everybody wants their new film, short film, long film, whatever film watched.
Right.
That's one way to do it.
Okay, next one.
Damn, 4 million likes.
Is this relatable to you?
Yeah, because we know the context. We've been in so many ballet studios, so I thought that was funny.
Yeah, that was funny.
Well
And
done. The menage, the group menage.
This was good, I think, in my opinion, because the song itself is a variation song that you can listen to many YGP videos and stuff like that. So familiarity is there, but also the relevance is there. Relevance is like the point of view of how girls interact with each other, how they act in front of the mirror, in the studio.
Very stereotype.
Very stereotype, yeah. And I thought this was cool, but I want to suggest to like ballet schools too. Like, in our experience, it's hard for us to have them start this. But if they make this on their own, make sure ask them if they can post. If you can post it on your own school account, because this is very funny. And if you show that to your school account, that shows that you really embrace the culture that the students are making. And I recommend that because this doesn't come in very frequently.
Yeah.
So if you have that coming in, because all the students has to be open to it to create this. So if you have this element, or if someone did post this, please compliment them and embrace that, and then repost it on your account, and that'll help a lot. I think, in terms of culture. Yeah.
So get ready, part 2.
There is a part 2, and it had also a good amount of likes too.
Where is it?
Yeah, 2 million views. So 18 million views and 2 million views.
Wow.
That's a lot of views, man.
Wait, how many views? 18 million?
Yeah, 18 million
Bruh.
for the first one.
Bruh. All right, so to get 18 million views, that will cost you a lot of money that you don't have.
Yeah, that you don't have. And if you're a small business, yeah.
You don't have
That's
extra 100K lying around. I think that's probably cost more than that to get that much views,
Really?
especially
I see.
on more expensive platforms.
I see.
But wow, what is this account? Is this a personal? Yeah.
Yeah, Ballet Boy. It's a school, I think.
200K. Okay. Okay.
But that was that's what we want to achieve too with our content. But like we said, sometimes you need the students' involvement, and that's hard to come by, especially if they're very shy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's it for today.
I got some.
You got something? Okay. Where is it located?
I didn't put it up.
Okay. Oh my god. So why is this funny?
I don't know. It's funny, but it's a CapCut, so it's very easy to use. I'm sure you can contextualize it better. I don't know why this was so well done, but it was well done.
It's really funny, and if you know the culture of TikTok or meme in general, you'll understand.
Yeah.
But let's see. So it has the surprise element, shock. So I guess you can use it in many ways, really. If you, let's say for ballet world, you can have a really good variation showing in the screen, and then people are just shocked because it's very well done type of deal.
No, the CapCut I think is a dog.
Oh,
This is part of it. you can't do it without this dog.
then what is the variable?
You can put, I guess, based on the lyrics, like it says "Don't stay away
Oh, I see.
for too long," so you can contextualize it with that.
Oh,
But
okay.
I don't know. It's one of those things that's just like so random. I got a couple more. Like this. Hold on. I think what was this one? Same dog, different CapCut.
All right, let's look at it.
Alright, only know you feeling low. Only hate
Oh, so it's basically the dog itself is a mask, and then people just open their mouths. Is that how it works?
Well, let's see. Let's actually check out the template.
Yeah.
Alright.
Oh no, they just put the dog. They put the dog.
Really?
The heart is what it is, and what comes after is what you add on to it.
Oh, okay.
Just put the dog on it.
So it's just that itself is a virality, and you just can use it.
Oh yeah, so I found this one video of a mechanic explaining a specific video.
Okay.
Why did I pick a mechanic? You know, good old Pops. He fixes cars. I don't know anything about cars. I know how to do oil change a tire, and how to read when you need to do an oil change, like checking the oil. That's it. That's all I learned from my summer days working with him. But I thought why I wanted to show this was for small businesses. You know, creating this type of content is very simple, but I think a lot of people are not comfortable doing it. But the stereotype around car repair industry is like there's a lot of scammers. They tell you to fix a lot of stuff that doesn't need to be fixed, so that they can make an extra buck. So there's a lot of trust issues with car repair shops and customers. But this is one way you can really overcome that if you have good ethics and good morals in your car repair shop. But it goes beyond car repair, right? Like it goes with dentistry. Dentistry has a lot of that issues as well.
Yeah.
You know, there's plenty of other industries where there is a lot of distrust issues built from years and years of misconduct and you know not so good stuff that's been happening. So yeah, I mean for small business, it's like if you look at this content, you just need a phone. And
That's all you need.
And this person probably spent like maybe 15 minutes making this video.
Yeah. And how many views is that? Like royalty auto service.
How do you look at how many views? Oh, okay.
You have to go to that account. So it's almost 900,000 views for a car freaking company, guys.
Yeah, it's a local car repair shop.
Yeah. I mean, this is also our experience too. Like people think like, yeah, there's a lot of views, but you know, people are not local. But that's not true. Some of them are really local, and people do search for your service. So yeah, don't be discouraged thinking like this is just a bunch of random people or bots. Some people say it's bots, but I don't think that's true, because there is business results at the end if you do well. Yeah.
And you can use this content for ads. So we've been fiddling around with TikTok ads. Even though TikTok ads doesn't allow you to do like hyper local targeting like Facebook and YouTube, like 10-mile radius, you can only by state right now, in America at least. It still attracts the right buyers, right? Because I've been doing like sales calls for my dentist, so that I have a better understanding of how well the marketing is working. But they fit the persona that we are trying to attract. They fit the distance, even though it's the whole state. You know, because I get the area code of all the numbers. It's local. When I call them, it's local, and it all works out. So, you know, TikTok ads. It's a lot cheaper. For example, like for YouTube to get a lead, it costs like $20. For hyperlocal, it depends on how you do it, right? You can for this particular case, but for TikTok, it's like $6. So.
Oh wow, that's what 3 times cheaper.
3 times cheaper.
Wow, that's crazy.
But sometimes more effective than YouTube. Before, like 2 years ago, YouTube was like that compared to Facebook.
Oh, I see.
So I'm not running Facebook because like if you're working with like a very limited budget, you have to be really smart about which ad platform you want to use. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's about the follow-up and calling them back. That's what I learned this week. You can change the ads and stuff, but if no one's really calling the leads, then what are you really doing?
Yep. Okay, that's a good point.
I had a couple more examples.
Yes, let's
like
do it.
So this example it's product marketing. They're selling their products, but I just thought it was a funny way to do it. But it's absolutely true. If they have spent $15,000 on a professional video, it may hit, it may not. This took probably 2 minutes to make with CapCut. It hit.
Damn, son.
How many views it get? 77,000 views.
Yeah, that's an ad. That is an ad. And like e-commerce type of deal, you don't need to be local too, so that's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
You just have to have people who are interested in that. Yeah, 70,000 views.
And the comment, it's funny. Bro's gonna get fired. I'm sold, sending prayers. I don't think it did. Bro's getting fired. But people have fun with it. Of course, I think some business owners are like super sensitive about comments. It's like, it's TikTok.
Yeah.
Half of it's trolls. So don't worry too much.
Yeah, if luxury brands allow those content creators to create very vulgar things, I think you'll be okay. Don't worry.
This one. I don't know. I just thought it was funny.
Okay.
So, Napoli and AS Roma played this weekend. And of course, Napoli won. It's just using, viral videos that are out there, recontextualizing it into what fits for them.
Is that a bone?
Yeah,
That's a big
it's like
bone.
Chew bone. The dog's so happy.
I didn't know Napoli. Why are they so good?
Dude, their striker is insane.
Oh, really?
The
Is
guy's
that
scores-
underdog? Or
I mean, I've seen him before, but like he scores every game,
holy cow.
nonstop, and it's like you just can't stop him. He's
Italian?
I don't know what his nationality is,
Dang.
but yeah, he's like you could compare him to Holland. Holland is like a robot. Holland is like if you're playing FIFA, he's like that player that has like 99 stats for everything. And you just can't stop him. He just scores automatically. It's like autopilot. Score. I don't know. It's insane watching him. This last one.
Okay.
This is also a local business, but it was just very interesting. I've never seen this. I didn't know. I guess I knew that mobile locksmiths existed, but I didn't know what it looked like or how it works. So it was just cool watching him go through that process of getting this guy's car started up and making him a new key.
Let's see. Wow.
But it's really not complicated. Like I'm pretty sure he just has a GoPro on his head and that's it. And he just cut the important parts.
It is. Yeah, it is GoPro. If you look at the stabilizing effect.
Okay.
Oh wow.
How many views?
Yeah. How many views and when did it get posted?
3.4 1 day ago.
Wow. Wow.
3.4 million views in 1 day. Jesus Christ.
Jeez.
You can't do that with that unless you
TikTok is not dead.
Yeah. So we've done it recently too with
Yeah.
our client, and I think it's I think people are a lot more conscious of what content they want. I'm sure there's still so many users joining the platform, so it's like
I see.
I mean,
Like the
yeah, the opportunity is still
generations,
there.
yeah.
Opportunity is still there. Of course, there's still opportunity on YouTube Shorts, Facebook too. We've had some of our videos hit like 50, 60,000 views.
really.
Yeah,
Wow.
pretty consistent too.
Oh yeah, I think it really boils down to consistency and trying different things.
Yeah, and good quality content. Quality not in the sense of production quality.
No.
Like this.
Yeah, let's talk about what is quality like in our perspective?
Relevance. How
Yes.
relatable is it? Value in the sense of what does it give to the person that's watching it. And on the after it's been posted, the feedback that we get, that essentially derives quality. And it's not even just like positive comments.
Yeah.
It could be feedback as in like, it could be anything, right? As long as there's some form of like, of course you don't want negative comments. No, you can totally manufacture that too if you want it. I've seen it happen. It's like, why would you do it that way? But I think those are the elements that at least we look for. Of course, it's helpful to have nice cameras, nice setups, nice lighting. It's there's a time and place for that, but it's not necessary for, I think, a lot of things.
Especially small businesses. I think
Yeah.
you don't have to overthink it so much. You don't need to buy a camera. You don't need to have like a bunch of equipments. I think it really comes down to, do you have an idea? Do people value it? Just keep going.
Yeah, I think that's where people like us can come in.
Yeah.
If you feel stuck and you're not sure about yourself, you're doubting, people like us will just push you to make those content. One, because you paid for it, so your money's on the line, and two, it's a process. I don't think you can expect just because you did content for a month, even if you did it consistently for a month, you can't expect it to go viral and have like immediate business results. That's with anything in life, right? Like patience, and consistency plays on your side.
Yes. And I think we can talk about too. This is one thing. Like people think like people want just cheap stuff. So going back to the quality, quality topic. This is one thing that I learned recently, and this is some perspective that people can value and maybe be encouraged to make a higher price point for your products or services. So this is from Dan Kennedy. This guy's very aggressive sometimes, but what he's saying is, if you look at a lot of times the quality comes or the results comes from people's behavior, right? And if you look at the Social Security, especially in the United States, they did measure it, like what percent of people make this amount of money, what percent make this amount of money, and then what people is struggling a lot. So if you look at it, top 1% always makes like 6 figures, 7 figures. Top 20 makes like high 5 figures. Top 30 is okay, like good living, but you're not making
like your average wage.
Yeah, you're not making an asset out of it. And then below 30%, they're struggling no matter what. And also like even when government jumps in to inject certain level of cash to revive, for example, Baltimore is a very criminal, like crime prone place.
Not the best place.
Not
It's
the
very
place.
unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean,
Very nice city.
Yeah, no hate on them, but they did inject like a certain amount of money for a period of time to renovate, but it didn't work. Why? It comes down to people's behavior. So putting down your price point doesn't necessarily mean like people will evaluate, and also it doesn't mean that they will make a result out of it from your product either. So what's good about high price point, I think it targets the right type of people with the right mindset and right level of outcome that they already have. So you set yourself apart from those people who are still, I wouldn't say they're like deadbeat or dead weight from the society, but they're still figuring out their like kinks, the mental kinks that they have, the behavioral kinks. So if you price yourself a little bit higher, you kind of filter those people out, because ultimately business is business, and you have to make money out of it, out of whatever you're doing. So if you put a higher price point, you target a certain level of people from the society. And that's just statistical thing that I thought that was interesting, because I mean, we all struggle, right? Like to make a product more expensive. Even me with our service, like, is it worth this amount or this amount?
Price
It is really a price.
Our prices are going up, everybody.
And if you do, so like a lot of marketers say, if you target the right people with the right avatar, who has the right mentality, they will buy your thing, because they already have a standard behavioral standard that they are already activated with. So that's one thing you can think about if you're discouraged to, make an more expensive product.
I think it also comes down to like you're talking about like who you're targeting.
Yeah.
If you target the right person, like for example, for me, if someone was targeting me for products, let's say to strengthen my right leg specific, because I had knee surgery on it, I am more willing to spend a lot more money than someone who has no knee issues, because it's just more valuable for me. And value is perception. It's not like, value is not price. Price is what you pay. What does Alex say? Value is what you get. Yeah. So, but if what I'm getting is very specific to me, then I'm because I bought this like knees over toes guy program. It was like $20.
Oh.
I did the trial, but I didn't find a lot of value in it. One, I didn't know how to use this app. I'm sure he has a really good program, but it's just like it was really low price point too. It's like $20, and it's kind of like help yourself, do it yourself type of deal. You just a bunch of videos, and I use those videos, but it's like they have the option of you contacting the coach, but I would prefer it the other way around. Because number one, I don't know how to use the damn app. It's like so much stuff. I got overwhelmed. Like I don't know what I'm doing. I'll just do the first one I see.
Yeah.
And it helped, but ultimately, what my answer is just fucking run. Fucking use the legs. Then my knees don't hurt anymore. I'm running. I hate cardio, but I started running. Like 1 mile at a time. But my knees don't hurt it as much. I still can't do like squats and stuff like that. But it'll get there. But anyways, it's like it really depends on like who you're selling to and what their needs are, because their needs in their mind is like a lot bigger for that specific thing than someone who doesn't need it.
Definitely.
So I think ultimately it comes down to
And like as a business provider, you'll have more fun with if you have the right client who really enjoys your product or service. You're more encouraged to go harder.
over deliver.
Like you don't have to always think of holiday discount, holiday that, like this discount, this free stuff. You can really think of like value. I think that's where you have to. Of course, if you're starting out or you're still early in the business stage, it's very scary. But please keep that in mind because that's ultimately where you have to be in terms of creating a sustainable business. Yeah.
For us too, particularly for like Rancho do Battle Coaching, we don't do discounts ever. We always go one or the other. There's never in the middle. So I'm talking specifically about price. It's either the full price, the expensive price, or free. We don't do anything in the middle, and that was intentional because we've had experience of doing something in the middle. It doesn't work. All right. I would always go for either spectrum. It's always good to build goodwill by doing free stuff. Like Alex says, make a free shit better than their paid shit. I think that's absolutely true, because if you do that, you win a lot of trust. Because it's a lot better than what they're getting and they're paying for it. So they can only imagine what they're going to get if they actually pay for your service or whatever product you have.
Yeah, definitely like free stuff. You can do free stuff. Like let's say if you feel guilty of charging someone very high, do the free stuff on the other end, so that you're still giving goodwill to the entire society, but you're making a sustainable business too. So do the both spectrum. And I think it's healthy to do both spectrum, because ultimately the free stuff, it is the branding that will lead you to more sales eventually. So think of it that way really.
And you want to be smart about it, right? You don't want to overdo it and
of course, like you can't sell a cup for like $1 million. Maybe you can.
Can you? Depends on whose lips.
Yes, depends on the value.
If it touches specific people's lips.
I mean, yes, it depends on what kind of value you provide. But you can't be egregious without specifying what value you're giving. But really, yes, be reasonable, but you don't have to go cheap out. You don't have to think about other competitors either. Because one thing I want to share too, like your competitor's price is also perceptual. They didn't really do the math to come to that point of that specific price. So don't be pressured to stick to that price either, because they also guess that price, considering what other people are doing.
Right.
So it's not mathematical at all. So if you really think about your business flow in terms of cash flow and also expenses, you have to be logical with your price as well.
Because we've seen, this is just our personal experience. We've seen cases where a business would price their products based on what their competitors are doing.
It doesn't work.
And, I think then your focus doesn't really go on the prospect and the product itself. You're making what everyone else is doing. So then it's really hard to sell. I don't know. It's just like, for you too, if you make a lot more profit per item or per customer, then you have a lot more wiggle room to make a lot of mistakes. And we have made a lot of mistakes. But we have a lot of breathing room. It's not like one little mistake, like a restaurant, one little mistake, you're gone, right? Because like restaurants have very thin margins. So I mean, it's always a plus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, last one, like if you have a high ticket price of your service or business, then you can do a lot more than what your competitors are not doing. For example, like we give customized T-shirts for each summer intensive who comes for the second round, for example. Jacket, and we hire extra videographers or photographers in the summer intensive. That's not common, right? And also, like we do a lot of extra stuff that we can do because we have the cash flow and the strength to do that, the economical strength.
Yeah.
So that's one thing you have to think about too. Like if you really want to give value to others, you need that element. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of times when people price their own thing, and we face it too. You feel guilty for pricing high, but one thing to help to kind of combat that is to think about how to think of it from their perspective and what you can do for them. At the end of the day, price is just a number. This is something that we're continuously learning too. It's like sometimes it doesn't matter. No. As long as your focus is like, how can I over deliver on this? Yeah.
Okay, I think that's a good way to end
Thank you,
our
everybody.
little podcast. And see you in the next round. Thank you.
Bye.